So the bad news for Warriors fans was the news yesterday that Klay Thompson injured his right lower leg and is scheduled to have an MRI today. The good news is that the team picked James Wiseman with the second pick in the NBA draft. Max Kellerman, you're up first. All things considering everything that happened with Klay and the injury, do you think that they made the right choice taking Wiseman second?
I believe they did. I believe they did because Klay Thompson's career is not over. Matter of fact, that Klay Thompson was re-upped to a max deal even after he got hurt. He's been out last season. We hope that he's not going to be out this season, but eventually he will be back. This is a three-time champion. This is a guy that went to the playoffs, to the finals 5 straight times. This is one of the top 5 shooters in the history of basketball. And obviously Steph Curry with his $200+ million contract ain't going anywhere. So if I know I got those two for the foreseeable future, all right, and I just gave Draymond $100 million over the next 4 years, why would I not get a big that can give me some minutes at the 5, that can rebound and defend, finish at the basket at a decent clip, better than Jaja Pajulia or Andrew Bogut ever did? Why would I not do that? I love the James Wiseman pick. I think it was a wise decision on their part.
I think it's a bad fit. I mean, Wiseman, look, if they feel he's the most talented guy there, and they want to build their team for the future, I get taking Wiseman. If Klay Thompson is healthy, I also sort of understand it. But the fact of the matter is, in the modern NBA, you have to have some shooting. You know, like, I get it. You could play a different style. Kirk could coach a different style. You could have a more athletic up-and-down team, Wiseman and Wiggins and these guys. But other than Steph, who shoots? Who's going to get any minutes on this team? If we're just talking about this upcoming season, if Klay isn't there, let's see what happens. Hopefully he is there. But if he's not, Wiggins, Pascal, Draymond, Wiseman, there's not enough shooting. You're not going to even make the playoffs, likely. I mean, maybe with 10 teams with a chance to make the playoffs, maybe. But there's just not enough shooting. So the only defense is if they just look at that and go, we believe in Wiseman's ceiling. If he's DeAndre Jordan, that's a nice player. But DeAndre Jordan in this league, Hassan Whiteside, although his career didn't go the way maybe people were hoping, those guys are available every year in free agency, and they're not that expensive. So to shoot the number 2 pick in the draft on Wiseman, you have to believe he's more than that.
Well, Max, he is more than that, first off, and you don't just have to have shooting to make the playoffs. You have Steph Curry, you have Draymond Green, and you have Andrew Wiggins, and then you add Wiseman. Hopefully, Klay could come back. And, I'm praying that it's not that serious. But if Klay come back and he's able to come back and perform, then we're back to talking about them competing for a title. But without Klay, this team still has enough to at least make the playoffs in the Western Conference. Anytime you have a guy like Steph Curry, who you sat on here and argued with me about a month ago, telling me, why is he so much better than James Harden? Long as you have Steph Curry on the court, you have a chance at winning ball games. Now, getting James Wiseman was huge. He's not your typical big. This guy runs the floor. Yes, he's a lob threat at the rim and a rim protector, but he actually have offensive moves on the low block. And by the way, he was coached last year, although he didn't play a lot of games for Memphis, but he was still around those guys working out. And Penny Hardaway, Mike Miller, those guys are NBA players around the NBA, so he's NBA ready already. And you know what? I was watching First Take earlier this morning, right? Checking y'all out. And Jay Will said something. Stephen A., what's the word? Because I don't know how to pronounce it. The word you always say.
Blasphemous?
Blasphemy, right?
Blasphemous?
Yes, blasphemous.
Blasphemous.
He said that Andrew Bogut was able to stretch the floor for the Golden State Warriors.
He apologized for that.
He cleaned it up.
He said he was.
He cleaned it up in the next.
He apologized for that because he said he was on 2 hours sleep. KP. He said he was on 2 hours sleep and he had a brain fart. He didn't mean that. That's what he said.
Yeah. I don't care if you was on 15 minutes of sleep. You can't have that type of brain fart. But anyway, James Wiseman is more than what you're giving him credit for, Max. And he's going to prove you wrong, okay? He's going to prove you wrong. You just sit back and watch.
Well,
listen,
but I'm
James
talking
Wiseman, let me
about
tell you something right now.
proves me wrong, it's
If you
because-
got a guy, Max, just imagine this, Max. I got a shooter like Steph Curry who moves so fluidly without the basketball. I'm constantly spying and I'm worried about him. I can't pin down on Wiseman near the basket. So he's going to see one-on-one coverage on the NBA level. Because ain't nobody leaving Steph Curry open.
Yep.
And you got a team that's watching him because they don't want it to kick out to him. Keep that in mind.
Guys, I understand, and Wiseman could prove me wrong if he really develops beyond, say, a DeAndre Jordan type or someone like that. That's a very nice player. I expect Wiseman to have a nice career. I'm talking about for this Warriors team. You're trying to win a championship, and now you're down Klay Thompson. Guys, I know not everyone has to shoot. You can be an excellent player without it. What I'm talking about is just think of the minutes on the floor. Other than Steph, no one shoots. Wiggins is below average. Pascal doesn't shoot. Wiseman doesn't shoot, not from three, and neither does Dre anymore. No one shoots.
Max, just because Wiggins don't shoot, don't makes him a scorer. He's a career 20-point-a-night scorer. He still could get buckets, and we're not going to discredit what Draymond Green brings to the table. The Warriors will make the playoffs this year if Klay don't come back.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.